All right, I'm back. I'm still in Cam's room and I'm ready to start our literacy. All right, I'm going to give you your first thing that you need to do today for literacy. If we were at Pinewood in the classroom, we would be doing this all together and I would be writing it while you're raising your hand and telling me things. But since we're not all together, you're going to have to do this at home, and then you're going to need to have your parents text me or email me your work because I want to know what it is that you want to learn about eggs, chicks, and chickens, okay? Because we are going to be responsible for growing these eggs, turning them into little chicks, and sending them back to a farm where they can become chickens and start their life cycle all over again and start to lay some more eggs. So, what are some things that you want to learn about eggs and chicks and chickens, okay? You're going to write them down. Your mom or dad can take a picture, like I said, and they can send it to me, okay? I'm going to give you a couple examples. One question that I have that I want to learn about is, why are some eggs brown and some eggs white? Have you ever gone to the grocery store and seen that there's actually white chick eggs and then there's actually brown ones too? So I want to know, why are eggs different colors? So I'm going to write that up here. Why are eggs different colors? And I'm going to put a question mark at the end of that because that's a question. That's something I am wondering about. And hopefully in all of our books that we have, hopefully we'll be able to find the answer to that question. All right? Next, I'm going to read to you a new book, and it's a book from our big tub of Living Things books. I actually brought it home this week, and I read it to Cam because we were out worm hunting one day, and I knew I had this book because worms are living things, and I knew it was in my Living Things tubs. And it's called We Dig Worms. All right? All right, here we go. We Dig Worms. A book by Kevin McCloskey. There are many different worms. Tree worms, sea worms, river worms, and Benny Boo Boo's favorite, gummy worms. The worm in parks and gardens are called earthworms. These are the worms that you probably see the most often. They are called earthworms. And this part of their body is really important. You'll learn something about that coming up. Worms feel light through their skin. Hello, little worm. He's excited because he knows worms are his lunch. Worms have no eyes and no nose. Worms do a lot of important work. I said, hello, little worm. I eat dead leaves and bugs. I never knew that worms ate leaves and bugs. My tunnels bring air and water to the soil to help plants grow. When worms dig, twisting and turning, they make the earth earthier. My poop is good for the soil. Ew! Worm poop is called castings. Worms are cool. Maybe to you. Worms feel cool. They have cold blood. All right, so here is a map of the worm, okay? Here's the outside of a worm. Worms don't have lungs. They breathe through their skin. This is called the clitellum, okay? And only grown-ups have these. This is where eggs become cocoons, okay? So when you see a worm and it's got this part of the body, you know that it is a grown-up and not a baby worm. Up here's the head. This is the inside of a worm, all right? They only have muscles and nerves. Worms have no bones. Up here's their itty bitty brain, their mouth, 5 pairs of hearts. This is a nerve cord, blood vessel, a gizzard and crop, which is 2 kinds of stomach. Here is their intestine and their butt. Worms are born from cocoons. Ooh, reminds me of a butterfly. Setas are tiny bristles that help worms move. Mr. Worm, why do you come out after the rain? It's easier to wiggle when it's wet. Worms move and breathe better when it's wet. Excuse me, Mr. Worm, do you have a big family? Oh, yes. One worm can have 100 babies. How many worms live here? Over 1 million worms can live in a small park. Over here, this bird's saying, yum. Millions, 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 millions. How big is the biggest worm in the world? Yum, yum. The Australian Gippsland worm grows to 10 feet long. Wow, as tall as an elephant. Hey, little worm, I'm hungry. Want to have lunch with me? Why did the little worm go away? Was it something Bluebird said? Yeah, he does not want to be by the Bluebird. I want to meet you for lunch, worm. Sorry, Bluebird. I have important work to do. There we go. Maybe tomorrow. Thank you, worms. The end. So hopefully you learned something about worms there. I know when I read it for the first time with Cam, I learned lots of important things about worms. All right, so you already know one of your jobs today is to write in your blue journal or on a sheet of paper questions or things you want to learn about eggs, chicks, and chickens, okay? Then you need to have your mom or dad type them up, send them to me, or take a picture and text it to me, however you want to do it. But I want to know what things you want to learn about eggs, chicks, and chickens, okay? Because tomorrow I'm going to make a huge chart with all of our questions and things we're wondering about and want to learn about, okay? Your other job for today is called sight word sentences, all right? In your bags, you have all the sight words written down, okay? And you today need to do 8, no more than 8 sentences with your sight words, okay? So you need to take a sight word. I already started, and oh my goodness, I made a mistake. And I'm using a pen, which means I can't erase. So I'm going to suggest that you use a pencil, all right? Because then you can erase, and if you need to, and it'll just be easier, all right? So I wrote the sentence, I ate an apple. But I accidentally put it next to the sight word a, but it should be down here next to an. So I'm going to write it, I ate an apple. Okay, and I'm going to put a period at the end of my sentence. Up here, since I don't have an eraser, I'm just going to have to cross that one out, and I'm going to think of a new one, and I already know it. I saw a worm, okay? So today you're going to do 8 of these, and I want you to just try your best. You should be able to do this by yourself, and that's all we can do. Just try your best. You know that's all I want, and that will make me so happy. I'm going to do one more for you, the word am. I always like to do this one. I am 34. Okay, put a period at the end, and I'm going to do one more because they don't always have to be sentences. I guess they could be questions technically. So I'm going to think of a question with the word at in it. And I say this to Cam all the time. Where are you at? Because sometimes he'll say, Mom, Mom. I have no idea where he is in the house. And I'll say, where are you at? and then he'll tell me and I can go find them better. Okay? So 8 is your goal for today. It's okay if you don't get to 8, but I would like you to try at least. I also want to remind you that in your bags, I put home a lot of baggy books, okay? So make sure you're finding time to read those to somebody. And if you have sight words, I have those in the bag too. If you're needing more sight words, please tell me because I can send some to your mom and dad that they can, they'd have to print them off or write them on paper for you. They won't be laminated. They won't be on color, but that's okay. All that matters is that you're practicing them. All right? I'll see you guys at math time.